It wasn't something big. That's the part that still gets to me. It wasn't obvious. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't something anyone would notice right away. Just one small detail. Something I didn't think mattered. Something I didn't even notice at first. But he did. Of course he did. And once he saw it, there was no way to explain it away. No way to fix it. No way to pretend it wasn't exactly what it looked like. The worst part? Everything else had gone perfectly. That's what made it so frustrating. I had been careful. More careful than I'd ever been. I kept things separate. Different times, different places, different routines, no overlap. That was the rule. That was how I justified it. As long as nothing crossed over, nothing would break. But things always cross over. Eventually. Even when you think you've controlled everything. His name was Aaron. And unlike Daniel, he was easy. That's the word I kept using. Not better, not more important. Just easier. There were no expectations, no history, no weight behind anything we said or did. That's what made it feel safe. Like it existed outside of everything else. Like it didn't count. That was the lie. And I believed it. Until the moment everything overlapped. It was supposed to be simple. Daniel was at work. Late, like usual. We had time. That's what I thought. That's what I always thought. Aaron came over in the afternoon. We stayed in the living room this time. Closer to the front of the house. Closer than we should have been. But it felt normal. Too normal. That's where I got careless. We talked, laughed, moved around the house like it belonged to us. Like there were no consequences waiting just outside of it. And when he left, we didn't rush. We didn't double check. We didn't think. Because everything felt fine. Controlled. Finished. I walked him out, closed the door, took a breath, and told myself, that was it. Another clean escape. Another moment that didn't leave a trace. I even looked around. Quickly, just to make sure. Everything looked normal. Nothing out of place and nothing obvious. And that's where I made the mistake. Because I stopped looking. Too soon. Daniel got home earlier than expected. Not suspiciously early. Just enough to catch me off guard. "Hey," he called out. Normal, casual. Like everything was fine. And for a second, I thought it was. Until I saw it. Not right away. Not clearly, just something. Something slightly off. Something my brain didn't process fast enough. Daniel walked into the living room, dropped his keys, looked around, and then he paused. That small pause. That tiny shift. That's when I knew. He saw it. Or at least, he saw enough. "What's that?" he asked. My chest tightened. Because I didn't know what he meant. Not yet. "What?" I asked, trying to stay calm. Trying to sound normal, but I could already feel it slipping. Daniel didn't answer right away. He just walked forward. Slow. Focused. And then he reached down. Picked something up off the floor. And held it up slightly. My stomach dropped. Because now I saw it too. A sock. Not mine. Not his. And not where it should have been. It was darker. Different material. Different size. Completely wrong. And worse, I knew exactly whose it was. Aaron's. "This yours?" Daniel asked. Same tone. Calm. Neutral. But underneath it, something had already changed. "No," I said. Too quickly. Too automatically. And the second I said it, I knew. That was it. That was the moment everything locked into place. Because now it wasn't confusion. It was confirmation. Daniel looked at the sock again, then back at me. "And it's not mine," he said. Not a question. A statement. I didn't respond. Because there was nothing to say. Nothing that would make this make sense. Daniel let out a slow breath. "You checked everything else, didn't you?" he asked. That caught me off guard. Because it wasn't angry. It wasn't loud. It was precise. Like he understood the situation better than I wanted him to. I started. But I stopped. Because answering that would only make it worse. "You missed one thing," he said. And there it was. The truth? Simple. Brutal. Final. Silence filled the room. Heavy. Unavoidable. "How long?" he asked. And just like that, it was over. Because it wasn't if. It was how long. "A few months," I said quietly. The truth. Because lying now didn't matter. Daniel nodded slowly, like he expected it. Like this wasn't a surprise, just confirmation. "In our house?" he asked. "Yes." That word felt heavier than anything else, because it meant something deeper, something worse. Daniel looked around the room, at everything, like it didn't belong to him anymore, like it had all changed. "I trusted you," he said. Not angry, just honest. And somehow that made it worse. That night, he didn't yell, didn't argue. He just packed a bag. Slowly, like he had already decided what came next. "I'm not staying here tonight," he said. And I didn't stop him, because I knew there was nothing left to say. A week later, he asked me to come by, not to fix things, just to finish them. "I can't move past it," he said. Simple, clear, final. And I understood, because I knew if it were the other way around, I wouldn't be able to either. We didn't fight, didn't argue. There was nothing left to argue about. We just ended. And in the end, that's what stayed with me. Not the conversation, not the silence, but that one thing, that one detail, something so small, I didn't even see it until it was too late. A single sock in the wrong place, where it never should have been, because that was all it took to ruin everything.